everyone, welcome to Morning Laziness. I'm Nilima Kayas, and today we are bringing to you an interview session with Ms. Sage Godrei, an award-winning screenwriter, a journalist, an actor as well as someone from Sydney, Australia. And in this interview session, we'll be covering about her career journey and her recent projects and many more. Now, quite recently, Morning Laziness started a very own NFT collection called Women in Metaverse. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please go ahead and pick your favorite meta character. Now let us welcome our interviewee. Hello, Miss Sage.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing today?
Great. I'm looking forward to sharing some of my thoughts with you on morning laziness.
Great. It's a pleasure to have you on board with us today, Miss Sage. So to begin with, it has been sort of like a routine of every interview session we have been holding to begin with the interviewee's morning routine. So you could begin by telling us about your morning routine.
Yes, well, the morning is such a special time. I love it when the sun first breaks through, and you just feel the rays of sun warming up the day. It really is such a special time for me. And what I believe is if you want your day to be beautiful on the outside, you've got to find that comfort and stability on the inside. So I spend a lot of time in the morning just gathering my thoughts, meditating, and preparing for the day, which I think really helps me because you just don't know what the day's going to throw at you, especially if you're busy and connecting with a lot of people. Like this week, I've had quite a few things jump up at me that I wasn't expecting. Someone I wanted to work with told me they had cancer, sadly. That was quite a big thing to deal with. And then I got told that I made appointments that I hadn't made, so computer systems just going bonkers, and items that I'd bought, and it turned out that it was the wrong thing that I got sent and had to request returns. So all these things could have been really tricky and I could have got really stressed out, but because I meditate and focus on the inside being clear and calm, everything worked out well. And so far, so good. So I spend a lot of time meditating, preparing myself for the day in the morning, as well as doing some writing. Recently, I've found some great opportunities to get my work out there. And so I've just been pitching away at it every day a little bit before work, maybe for an hour. And that's actually been really motivating me, just doing that little bit of work every day.
Great. You sound absolutely like a morning person, which is quite opposite to mine because I'm a night owl who likes to spend more time at night doing things. So, anyways, so you mentioned that you're working on writing things. Well, you happen to be an actor, a producer, a writer, and a journalist. Quite a number of titles to hold on. And how do you think this combination of expressions helped you out in this very entertainment industry?
Well, actually, I think it's actually come together in such a way that they all sort of inform each other. Luckily, as a writer, I know how to produce, so I've been able to get my work out there and up on the stage or onto film. And actually, it's because of the people I've met. Networking with the right people has allowed me to gain these skills because I've apprenticed with them, if you know what I mean. I've actually watched them work and just learned from being around them, watching them. And we were all students, or just learning and just hanging out together with the first crew of people that I started making films with. Just we were learning off each other and just learning from doing and having a go. So I think from being a film producer, and writing is how I actually gained a lot of acting roles. Just being an actor is much more tricky. Actually putting myself out there as a writer producer is where I met the other producers, and they appreciated the fact that I was attempting to make films myself, and they often wrote parts in for me to have me in their films because that was the sort of actor that they wanted to work with. So I would encourage actors out there to really give it a go and start creating content for themselves, because that just shows that you know the mechanics of what goes on and how much work actually goes on to make a film, which will prevent, people acting like divas or playing up a bit on set that sometimes some actors can do. So I think it's really helped me, the combination of all those different skills.
Right. Well, how did you actually begin your career journey? Was it from journalism or acting? How was it actually beginning?
The very, very beginning, like in high school, if we start there, would be from modeling. I started as a model. I grew up in Perth, which is a small Australian city, so it didn't have much in the way of media. But there was a little bit of a modeling scene going on. So I did some modeling in high school. Um, but before that, I was doing after school acting classes in primary school and just sort of school shows and things like that. But where it started to become a little bit more serious was probably in high school when I started doing modeling.
Right. Now, you could tell us more about your recent project, the live stream dating show Playdate. What exactly is this entire project about, and how do you hope to see after the after the viewers take part in this live stream? So, how, and how do you think this project is different from your previous ones? I know it's all couple up, but you could answer like one by one questions. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Well, Playdate, I'm really excited about this show because I was actually offered the chance to join the Fireside app, which is a Web3 app. It's an exciting app that is hoping to harness the producers of tomorrow by using blockchain. It's built on the Scale network. And it's a wonderful story because the Scale network CEO and founder is Jack O'Halloran. And I had an interview with him through my day job at Calkine Media, where I'm a business reporter. And he was a great guest, and he sensed, being a wonderful leader, his intuition sensed that I was going to be a good content creator, and he said we should keep in touch. And then I approached him about introducing me to Fireside, and he did. And they've accepted me as a content creator because it's a curated platform. Not everyone in the public can just go and load shows on their platform. So because of his introduction, they accepted me. So that was very nice of him. And then from there, the show has evolved. First, I thought it was just going to be interviews, but it's actually really developed into more of a reality show where we see two daters who are going to go on a live stream date in a fun venue in Sydney, and we're actually going to watch them. So they're being very generous, the daters, for allowing us to see them in this intimate setting. And we're going to learn from watching them and watching them getting coached by top dating coaches. Our first dating coach is a bit of a celebrity. She was on The Bachelor in Sydney and she makes lots of media appearances. Her name's Sarah Jane. And I've also got some fantastic co-hosts who are going to work on the show. So it's about the energies coming together and these right people that I've happened to find and who are available and who are happy to work on this project with me. To harness their talents and products. A celebrity makeup artist, Michael Marcus, who's the founder of Michael Marcus Cosmetics from Dallas, Texas. And we've got Nikki Vincent, she's a TV producer who I met at Open Shop. I used to do some home shopping. And Adam Trulove, who is a bit of a mentor for wealth creation and trading. I tried a bit of Forex trading, and he was one of the teachers. He's a very smart man, and he's built up like an empire at a very young age, so he's very good to talk to.
Right, that sounds brilliant. Well, talking about dating, what are some factors that you believe could contribute towards a healthy dating experience?
Wow, dating. Now, dating is such an obtuse subject because there's so many different, ideologies behind it. There's so many parameters, different types of people who enjoy different types of things. So I think the most important thing with dating is knowing yourself and knowing what you want. And that's not always easy. So I think for healthy dating, you've really got to be sure about communicating what you want early on and being honest with yourself and just being ready to take some risks, but manage risks, because you never know. I mean, someone who you thought may just be your friend could end up being someone that you could share some romantic moments with if you gave it a chance. So I guess it's about just an exchange of energy, a bit of give and take, a bit of compromise, but also putting what you want and what's important to you first. And I think if you find the right person who's willing to accept you for who you are, um, then I think you could make something happen.
Absolutely. Now, talking about dating, do you believe that dating and NFT could go parallel? What are your thoughts on this concept?
That is an exciting concept. Now, NFTs to me sounds like it's got a future for a lot more than it already does. Like I can see more use cases being developed than how it's already being used in the sporting world or e-commerce or in art. Um, but I think for dating, I can see it probably being used, number one, for security, for maintaining people's identity so that people aren't pretending or having fake profiles with people to, act maliciously. Another way would be, this is a really beautiful thing, where you can save life experiences that you've shared with various partners that you're dating, like going to concerts or going on holidays and all the special things you've done together. You might be able to load that into blockchain or smart contracts, just so you've got this a record of these things you've done, because it's impossible to remember every single thing you've done with every single person. I mean, you might forget one or two things. I think it's nice if you have this record of all the things you've done with the special people in your life.
Right. Now going back to dating again, what are some of the problems, most common ones that you have personally come across in relationships and dating?
Yeah, well, that's a tricky one. I think jealousy would have to be a big one. Just
Uh,
people feeling uncomfortable when their partner is attracted to other people or other people are attracted to their partner. And I think that's inevitable. I think attraction is a major part of life. Attraction is just showing there's positive energy happening and there's an exchange of energy. And I think attraction can lead to opportunity opening up. And it's just about deciding how far you take it. And I think just getting a grip of yourself and understanding that your partner is an attractive person and other people will see what you see in them too and be attracted to them too. But hopefully, that you won't let your jealousy or emotions get the better of you and you make wrong decisions because you might be feeling insecure. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest issues with dating.
right. Now, as a female producer, what were some of the challenges you faced in this industry?
I think it's been taken seriously. For so long, men have told the important stories. I mean, just look at the word history in English. History is his story. I think when females try and jump in the driver's seat, sometimes they're just not taken seriously because of, I don't know, various patriarchal ideologies that may see women as subordinate, but that's changing a lot. And I think in Australia, we've had a big push for more females in key creative positions, which has been fantastic. So I think just females being taken seriously and having them in leadership positions and not being threatening in those positions, but, working and collaborating in an equitable manner, I think that's overcoming that hurdle would really grow the industry.
Right. And what exactly drove you to set up on the Cusp production company?
Well, I wanted to be taken seriously and I wanted to be able to ask for government grants and investors into my projects. So I thought I better just set up a company, get the right sort of credentials in regards to businesses and know what the laws and regulations were in regards to complying. And that's why I basically set it up, but also to be able to represent another female key creative in the industry.
Right. And you also happen to be an author. Now what are your current progress on the transcripts you're working on?
Yes, I'm writing a novel called The
Okay.
Lost Flamingo. So I'm kind of halfway through that, but I've written about 35,000 words. And the thing with my writing it on the Cusp Productions is there's always a strong female main character. It's always female driven. And I think that's where the problem was in creating stereotypical characters in the past and these kind of negative images of women was because a lot of men were writing about women's stories and it wasn't maybe intentional, but just because they lacked the innate knowledge about what it's like to be a woman, they were creating these very two-dimensional characters. So all my characters are female lead characters and the stories are female driven. story, and um, Lost Flamingos, I think, will turn into a film and a novel release. That's the idea behind that one.
Right. And where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh wow, that's exciting. Look, I mean, there's so many things I'd like to do, but whether they will all happen the way I want them and in the order I want them to happen to, I'm not sure. I think as long as I can stay healthy, that would be wonderful, because you just never know. Health is the most important thing. So I try to maintain a healthy lifestyle as far as possible. And if I can at least produce a couple of my projects and have On the Cusp Productions running as a enterprise and an entity that is maybe helping other actors to find opportunities and other creatives to join in and collaborate in the writing process with me. And if I can find the right investors to make these projects happen, I would love to see at least a couple of films produced and maybe beginning on a TV series. That would ideally be what I'd want to happen.
We would love to see more of your works on screen as well. Okay, thank you so much for joining us stage today. Now, lastly, what do you think this world needs the most?
Oh, that's wonderful. I think the world really needs more original thought, because with original thought, we're coming up with some fantastic ideas in relation to renewable energy and the environment. I also think we really need to work on the circular economy. In Australia, I'm loving the fact that we're finding ways to turn waste into energy, like buy a car into energy sources is really exciting me. It's a bit of a strange topic to talk about, but it's something that we really need. So circular economy and original thought, I'm all for that.
Right. So on that note, we come to the end of this interview session. Thank you so much once again, Ms. Sage, for joining us today. We had a great time learning more about your works, and thank you, audience. Hope you had a great time with us today.
Thanks for having me on your show.